It is House of the Dragon time, and I'm very excited because when you are watching House of the Dragon, I get so excited. Like, I get so excited to come talk to y'all about it because things are happening. Things are happening right now. And, the themes are common. But who wants to come up and chat about. Hold on one second. Let me tweet it out for everyone. Hi, Rito. Come on up. Uncle Evie, come on up. Uncle Ev. Hi, Rito.
What's going on? I'm just here as a fan listening. I'm just saying this up.
Oh, thank you so much for supporting. Do you not watch House of the Dragon?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Everybody keeps telling me to, so I'm gonna need you to convince me.
It's so good. It's so, so good. So, we are on episode 3, season 2. We do talk spoilers, enough spoilers. Like, it's not like, oh, we're going to tell you everything. But if you haven't watched the episode, you might learn some things that you didn't know that you wanted to know. But I'm happy you're here. It's What We Watch Wednesday. We're going to be here for 45 minutes max to talk about House of the Dragon. Now, welcome our lovely co-host TJ. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Rhaenyra plays all day. Alicent plays even more. Sir Kristen Cole and Aegon are the most unserious duo ever known to man. And hold on, Teach, come on up. I already added you, so just yeah. Hi, Teach. Hello, Teach.
I'm here.
Hey. So I was just talking about this episode, and I want to kind of to like recap a little bit. But the overall is Rhaenyra's not serious right now. Alicent's still not serious, and Aegon and Sir Kristen Cole are the most ridiculous duo. So, what did you feel about this episode? Because we're on episode 3.
First of all, I thought it was my favorite episode of the season. I thought they did an incredible job the way that they staged the episode. Another episode where it looks like the security on one or both sides is lacking, but overall, I thought it was a great episode.
Do we need a refresher about what happened? Because a lot happened in this episode, Teach. Can you remind us of the high points?
So, oh God, I can't remember what happens at the beginning. Oh, so we start with the Blackens and the, what do they call them? Brackens and Blackridges? Whatever. There are two families who've had beefs forever, and we knew that because in the first season, when they were trying to find suitors for Rhaenyra, we saw a couple of them, and we knew they had beef from ages and ages ago. Obviously, they've declared for different sides of the beef, and so we start with them having some kind of land dispute, and then we do a quick cut, which was great editing, to the face of one of the boys who's dead, and then you pan out, and then there's dead bodies everywhere. So obviously, there has been skirmishes across the realm in the name of, the blacks and the greens, but also these people were just looking for an excuse to kill each other. So that's how we start the episode. We also have Rhaenyra send yet another black person to do her bidding. She says, I can't be a mom. I need you to be the mom that stepped up. I need you to be the mom that I can't be. So go away with my young sons and go take care of them. Once again, showing that she is mistreating the black side of Team Black, which is super nasty. So she sends them away. Damon is at Harrenhal, and he pulls up with the atomic bomb, only to realize that he didn't really have to do that because they were ready to go with him anyway. Because nobody believed that Larry. Everybody knows that Larry Strong killed his father and his brother because Harrenhal is wet and moist. And so, how the hell does a fire happen? Fires never happen here. So they know he's did it. So they're down to go with Damon. But also, Damon's having some weird dreams. Like, he's seeing this woman who is at Harrenhal in his dreams, and she tells him he's going to die there. And we should remember that when the series told him about different dreams that he was having, Damon said, we didn't get the throne by dreaming. We got the throne by doing. These portents that you're having are for fuck niggas. That's not for us. We're gods. We don't have to see things. So he is not believing these kind of things, and all of a sudden he's in that space. And then,
Let
go
me
ahead.
let me stop you there, right? Because like that was really good for like a recap of some of it. I know there's like another half, but I want to talk a little bit about Rhaenyra sending off and having kind of like there's forward motion. There's forward motion here for the black team finally, just a little bit, but we're putting things in place. It seems like we're laying a foundation, right? So now we talked so much last week, right, guys, about war and who's actually war ready. No one. No one's war ready. And so I think it's really cool to finally see some action by the black team and the green team, quite frankly. But we'll get to them. But the black team, with to Tija's point, Rhaenyra sent yet another black woman to do 60% of her job. Um, but we had that moment where it's like, if you would you have a war without me being present? Why would you send me off, a woman, a queen, if we're gonna have a war here? Shouldn't I be here? And so I love that there was this moment where we see, Bela, and who is it off? It's not Bela. Who is it? It's someone.
It's Baylor's sister,
Bela's
Arsha.
sister. I forget her name. And we see her off, but we see her off, and what does she go with? She goes with dragons. And she goes with dragon eggs, which is so exciting. It felt like season 3 Daenerys Game of Thrones. It felt very, very exciting to see that moment because we know how valuable that is. So to Teach's point, yes, Rhaenyra is giving the bid to black women to do her work, but this is a high honor. This is a high moment of trust. And there's a lot that could go wrong in those moments. And so I'm excited to see, because we know those dragons and there's a limited amount of dragons, and these hatchlings and these eggs are so delicate. She's being sent off with a bunch of kids and a bunch of dragons. And quite frankly, F them kids. Okay, F them kids. We are worried about the dragons. Okay, we are worried about how you're taking care of the dragons. And I just love that scene because it reminded me of Game of Thrones. But anyways, that was strategic because we've heard about the battle of whatever. I'm gonna get names wrong until
The
we
Burning Mill.
the burning mill, the battle of the burning mill. Thank you. After that, it was both Team Green and Team Black are like, there's no standing around. They heard us in the last 2 episodes of what we watched, and they were like, all right, we need to make some things happen. We can't be like this anymore. We can't move the way we're moving anymore. We need to take action. So Kristen Cole is out of here, right? Bela saw him on the dragon, almost had them. That would have been great, but a very exciting scene. I think that was this last episode, right? That we
Yes,
got
that was the thing.
perfect. And then we got Team Black sending off to get more of an army, to train the dragons, and to protect the castle, like to protect the kingdom, whatever you want to call it. Who's actually going to stay here? Because clearly both sides are completely exposed. Anybody can come in at any time. Security is awful, like you said, T. Security is absolutely terrible. No, who's watching the gates? Who's watching the gates? Anybody can throw on a hood and a cloak and move crazy. And that brings us to our last moment, our very, very intense moment. Tej, if you want to share the Rhaenyra Alicent.
Well, we all were watching this show because we love the interactions between Rhaenyra and Allison. So this is a TV creation. This doesn't happen in the books, but we have to put them back together because we need a little bit of cinema. And so we have Rhaenyra, who goes to back to King's Landing in order to have a meeting, a happenstance meeting with Allison. Allison doesn't know, and she meets her at the church because Allison will be alone at the church. And so our final scene is basically a meeting between Rhaenyra and Allison, in which they're, basically Rhaenyra's trying to sue for peace, basically. But of course, they start getting petty, they start getting catty. But the most interesting tidbit that comes out of it is that Allison reveals to Rhaenyra that, yeah, Dad, your dad was talking about Aegon before he died. He changed his mind right before he died. And she says, he was talking about Aegon. He was talking about, and Renee's like, wait, he was talking about the Song of Ice and Fire, because that's about Aegon the Conqueror. And of course, Allison had that stupid. Allison, the way that she played this, her face the whole time, she's just bewildered. She's just like, oh shit, he meant Aegon the Conqueror, aka the most famous Aegon ever. Of course, he meant the most famous Aegon ever, and not my dumbass kid. So she had that realization, but I think that she was correct in saying, like, okay, even if I fucked it up, which she doesn't count for the fuck up, but even if I fucked it up, we've come too far. There's already been bloodshed on both sides. and all the men are already making moves towards war. They've been ready. The dragons, Rhaenyra says, my dragons they smell war. Like they are literally ready for war. They know war's about to pop up. So even if we are able to make peace amongst us, it might be too late for any peace because everybody's already done what they've done, and now there's no choice but to go to war.
And I love that you brought the dragons up. And please, those of you in the audience, it's What We Watch Wednesday. You know, I like to say this is not a podcast. You're not just here to listen to two people talk. No shade, no tea. But please come in and have this conversation with us. Give us your perspectives. Don't be shy. This is a safe. This is a safe space. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You get cooked. I am not above getting cooked either. It's very rare, but I get cooked too sometimes. But I will say that I like that, right? The point about the dragons. We said this the last episode. The only beings, creatures that are ready for war are the dragons. And I love that conversation between Alicent and Rhaenyra was a callback to when Mysera or whoever was looking out at the dragons and she was like, oh, they're lonely or whatever. And it was like, they're not only lonely, they have a hunger for war. I'm a dragon. You know, it's like getting mad at any other animal for doing what animals do, right? What creatures do. I'm a dragon. Let me burn some stuff up. Let me eat some good food, humans included. It doesn't matter. And so it was good to see that callback to that conversation. That's how I looked at that moment where it was like Rhaenyra and Alicent are having this conversation. It's like, babes, and let's just pause, right? Let's actually give our opinions here because my issue with Rhaenyra and Tej and I spoke about this prior to today, and it was really great. I think Tej, I even think you might have paused the show. How do y'all feel about Rhaenyra going and making that decision to see Alicent? I knew immediately there was going to be no common ground. And they've built that through season one, and they've built it a little bit in season two, but this is actually where it came to life. And I love the way they did it. Brilliant, brilliant writing, brilliant cinema to have to have Rhaenyra enter the gates as a peasant, as a lowborn, all right, and be able to access the Queen Dowager, right? Last episode, we got a man's twin came in, everybody died as a result. Both the twin, seppuku, all of it happened. And so I love that parallel. But what I really liked about this idea and my opinion on this moment is, hey, Rhaenyra, first of all, Alicent is not intelligent. So when you got if you argue with a fool, it's very hard to tell who's not the fool. And I'm like, Rhaenyra, you're going to argue with Alicent, and you found out very quickly that you argued with a dumbass. Excuse my language. You're arguing with someone who's not a serious person. You're trying to convince someone who's not intelligent, that doesn't know that they're missing out on something. And that's just never going to work. That's never going to work. You're better just to kind of exit. But why did Rhaenyra do that? Because she can't exit this. This is not a verbal feudal kind of thing. This is war. And so she's doing her best. She was motivated. She was blinded by the courage and the need to protect her family and her children that she just sent off and all of this stuff, right? And so that's why she went there. But I'm like, regardless, this was never going to go well. But you know what she did come away with? She came away with confirming what we've been saying. Alicent is dumb. And I think, Tej, you and I talked about this, right? Because I was like, Alicent is lying. And Tej kind of reminded me, guys, if you believe it, it's not a lie. It's not a lie if you believe it. And Alicent genuinely believed that lie. And Rhaenyra asked her like guys, watch that scene again. Rhaenyra asked her at least 2 to 3 times. So you think my father, after 20 years of wanting me to be the queen, just on his deathbed, switched to your son? That's what you want me to believe? Yeah. Alicent was like, yeah, of course. Let me get back to praying. Yeah. And then she asked again, okay, so you do know that while my dad was alive, he was like, me. And you're telling me that you know what? What exactly did he say? Oh, he said something about the
He said something about the prince that was promised.
the prince that was promised. Not so much. Not so much, girl. That's Aegon the Conqueror. The way Alicent's face was like, I have huge eyes. She was like, I can't act. I have huge eyes. She was like, Aegon the Conqueror. Oh, it wasn't my little fickle, measly, scrawny son. It was Aegon the. Oh, that makes sense. And
This
what
was
did
a
she
very
say?
weird episode for Aegon. Super weird episode for Aegon.
She was like, "Oh well, it's too late. It's too late now. It's way too late now." Have you ever made a mistake and you're like, "There is nothing we can do. I have started a war." I am so sorry, guys. Wrong name. Players mess up too, guys. You call the man the wrong name, and now you gonna hear about it. You call that woman the wrong name, and now you gonna hear about it. That's what happened. They gave us a oh. Oh, well, it's too late. It's too late now. Everyone knows the men are ready to fight. The dragons are ready to fight. People are hungry. There's allegiances forming. So, anyways, I want to welcome a couple people to the stage. Hi, Eddie. Welcome. Good to see you. Old Atlanta, please. You're new here. And hi, Angela. So I want to hear from Old Atlanta. I think you're new here to what we watch. Have you listened in before?
Yeah, this is first time on here, but I love this last episode. I appreciate your insights already. I read that scene a couple of ways when she said about her dragons were ready for war. Obviously, they're actual literal dragons, but also she has dragons in Damon and everyone else. Those guys, those Targaryens, are referred to as dragons also. So it's in two ways you can look at these dragons are ready for war. Um, but the other thing is, yeah, Allison is pretty dumb. I saw Rhaenyra going back to speak to Allison just kind of like one last time, like before we go to war. Let me just see if there's anything left between who we used to be as friends and sisters in a way, before everything went wrong. And so as she's approaching, and then realizing that the girl she used to know is kind of still a little girl, or just there's nothing to appeal to here. And so I appreciate the scene because it just shows a sensitivity to Rhaenyra to say, hey, let's exhaust every single possibility before we launch everybody into war. So I thought it was effective. A lot of great things in this episode. And just look forward to hearing what everybody else has to say. Thanks.
I love that. You're so polite. Thank you. Yeah, feel free to chime in anytime. I think my thing is I love it for cinematic value, but again, all Rainier, nobody even hugged. Like Allison ended the conversation, which is like, Allison, you walked away because you knew you was wrong. So in those moments, you had an opportunity to say, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go back and tell people I was wrong."
Yeah.
But
I think you're right. It was just too far gone.
but what is it too far gone? It is, most likely it is too far gone. But it's like this is where it's like confirmation bias. It's like usually people do things and say things that already fit the goal that they wanted. And so when Rhaenyra told her, "Oh, you made a grave mistake," there's an opportunity to kind of, you know, adjust. She's like, "Oh no, we can't possibly adjust. We can't possibly adjust. We're taking this lie, this mistake, whatever you want to call it, all the way home." And so to me, I don't think Rhaenyra should have done that. That should have been a quick little raven, because again, all I think Rhaenyra got out of this was that Allison is dumb, and I think she should have known that season 1, episode 3, when she called her a slut and called her unfit and called all of her stuff, but then was like, "Oh, you could be the queen. I just don't like the way you move," and then ended up moving just like she does, if not worse. So that's my 2 cents. Go ahead, Eddie. Welcome to the stage.
Yeah,
Eddie, we totally lost your audio.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
sorry. I was just saying I don't think that Allison could go back and reverse and tell everybody that she was wrong, because the difference between her and Rhaenyra, if Rhaenyra says, "Okay, I don't want to be queen," everybody will fall in line. But if Allison says the same thing, right? She has nothing to lose, but her sons have everything to lose, right? Her son, who's currently king, has that to lose. So it's like she kind of put herself in a corner, right? She's dumb. She misunderstood, and now she it pretty much has kind of sentenced the kids to die in this war, right? That's the way kind of I'm looking at it.
I like that perspective. I like saying it just like what it is. You have sent a bunch of kids to die because you wanted your son to be king so bad. And again, Teach got me like, yes, Monique, yes, it wasn't a lie though. Like, yes, she believed it. Yes, it was dumb, but it wasn't a lie. She genuinely believed that man died and was like, actually put my dumbass grandson on the throne of swords. That's who I want. It's like, no, be for real. Be for real. Be a serious person. And I think with Allison, my issue with Allison, as the list is very long, and I want to hear the Sir Kristen Cole haters, because y'all want me to hate Sir Kristen Cole more than Allison, and I want to hear why. Allison is top 3 for me. What an irritating at best. And I want you to know, when I call Allison dumb, that is a compliment. That is the nicest thing I can say about Allison. Because baby girl will be in every scene looking dumb, not saying anything, realizing she's wrong, and then the minute she, has to address a thing and she feels weak, she goes to the only person that makes her feel strong. And that's what we need to talk about in this episode too, because Sir Kristen Cole has some things to say this episode, which I'm not like,
He
I
dubbed
know
her.
it's, huh?
He dubbed her.
Allison, you're really embarrassing the girls. But go ahead, Angela. Welcome to the stage.
Okay, I just want to first shout out Corliss Valerian, true feminist icon that he is. But okay, I really think with my whole heart, between Game of Thrones and House of the Dragons, Alicent is easily the dumbest character we have ever seen. Because, and I think I respect you guys, Mo. I respect you. I think you're giving her too much grace with the her son, because
I told
Rhaenyra
you I'm being nice.
also
I'm being a
Ra-
very nice person about this woman.
you
I really
are,
am.
because Rhaenyra also has a son named Aegon, who is not only her son but the son of Daemon's. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all knew, even Aegon, the second Aegon, was shocked. He was like, "I'm not ready for this shit. I just want to smash whores and get drunk. I'm not ready to be king." Right? They made this boy be king because in her mind, she's like, "Oh, Aegon, okay, that's my son." Even though, what is her stepson? I don't know. I don't know how the relationship is. What are Rhaenyra's kids to Alicent? They're like, what is that? Like, I don't know. But because everyone's related. So
They're, they're not cousins or like second nephews, cousins, something like that.
yeah.
Brothers, nephews, cousins. Yeah.
But like, even like her mind was like, "Oh, Aegon, okay, my son." Not because I feel like we all knew he was talking about Aegon the Conqueror. This is a man who's like
Literally, all
literally,
of us knew this.
yeah, like this is a man who's like 9 toes into death. The pinky is just getting there, you know? We all knew he was talking about Aegon the Conqueror, right? Like literally, Rhaenyra's like, that's a bedtime story. He used to say it to me. Of course that's gonna be his last words. But like, she, in her mind, she's like, I'm always right, because that's another thing, she does not like to admit when she's wrong. Because I've been rewatching some episodes, and when Rhaenyra offered Jacaerys to marry Helena, right, she was like, no, these kids, they're brunettes, how dare she offer some shit like that. And like, Viserys was like, this is the best thing to do, like this is gonna like make the she was like, no, I'm right, fuck off. Right, throughout the whole show, she does not like to admit she's wrong. So yeah, honestly, the dumbest character. Just a horrible woman.
Thank you, Angela. I want y'all to know, y'all hear that y'all gonna see these clips. I'm gonna tell you right now. If it's clipped, I'm doing like an interview about Allison, and it's gonna sound like I'm dogging her. I want you to know I am, but also like I'm also simultaneously being nice. Like I'm being very very nice when I talk about Allison. This is the nicest things I can say. Girl, you are dumb at best. So, Tej, what do you think? Because we're gonna have to be serious, and then we need to go into Sir Kristen Cole and Aegon real quick before you go. Speaking of Aegon, what have we seen Aegon do? I just want y'all to sit with what we've seen Aegon do in 3 episodes of television. Okay, we've gotten 3 full episodes. What has the king, we pushed Rhaenyra out of the way for this. What has the king done? Teach, talk to me.
Well, it seemed like he got a. I thought for a quick second, because so the little, I call them the pussy posse. So the pussy posse is like, yo, when we stepping out tonight, when we partying, he's like, yo, y'all have vows of chastity. Like we're at wartime. Like what are we doing? But then slam cut, and now you see him in the brothel, opening up random people's sex acts, including somebody sucking dick right there on camera, right in front of the camera, which was insane that shot was even in the show. And so he's on bullshit. Then he proceeds to embarrass his brother in front of everyone. He opens up. He's in his therapy session, naked like he always is. He's embarrassing his own brother. Aegon is not serious, and he knows that he's not serious. And he's not built for this. He's just not built for this in any way, shape, or form.
I agree. Go ahead, Angela.
I think that scene where he embarrassed his brother, I think that's a very important scene, personally, because like the last time we saw him naked, which is very uncomfortable. Like I'm just like, yo, what are we looking at? But the last time he was like, I kind of feel bad for killing Luke, but he used to bully me all the time, so he deserved it. And then you see in this next episode his brother, who's not only like his brother, but is also the king, is bullying him too. So it's like, are you gonna make your dragon eat him next? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think it was a very important, because like even like again, I was rewatching, I forget what episode it was, but the episode where Jace asked Helena to dance before like I think they announced like they're getting married or whatever. And Luke like they try to make amends with him because they like, oh man, like he is clearly like hurt because we used to always bully him because he is weird. Like throughout the, especially the first season as a young kid, he was weird as fuck. Like I wouldn't want to hang around a kid like that. Like he's definitely like the kid who likes to play around with trains and runs to class, if you try to get what I'm saying. But
Uh-oh.
like
Uh-oh. We're getting
he
into problematic territory.
no, but like his whole thing is like, yeah, I feel bad for killing Luke, but he used to bully and pick on me. And now we see this particular episode where it's like, not only is your brother picking and bullying you, but he's doing it in front of all the hoes. So like, what are you gonna say
In
now?
front of all of the hoes. And what did he say? He doesn't even care about having sex particularly. He just wanted somebody to cuddle with. First of all, let me step out of the the storytelling and the lore and everything. I think these actors, let me tell you something. Shout out to the casting directors of this show. Full stop. Wow. Emma Darcy and Olivia? What's her name?
Cook,
Olivia Cook?
cook.
Olivia Cook? Hmm. Chef's kiss. When we need body acting, we got the body acting. When we need face acting, we got face acting. When we need the lines, when we need the moments, we have everything we need. Is it Amond? Is it Amond? The one that was be
Yeah,
sleeping?
that's the one-eyed Amen. One-eyed Amen.
One-eyed Amond. Thank you. I mean, he's doing a phenomenal job. It is a visceral experience to see him on screen. Whatever he did to look like that, to sit in that character, I applaud you, sir. That they told you what to deliver and you delivered above that. I am floored. Aegon himself is so easy to hate, right? We know who we hate the most. It's definitely Joffrey. But Aegon is so easy to like hate, but not in a hate that you want to expend any energy hating. You just want to like grab that kid by his neck or by his body and just be like, boy, sit down. Okay, sit, go over there. Why did you just say y'all are supposed to be sworn to chastity? And in the very next scene, I see you laying around, drinking about and encouraging everybody and paying for everybody to get some pussy and get their dick sucked. It's wild. Team Green is in the dirt. Team
Hit
Green
that.
is in the dirt. Go ahead.
You mind if I share something? I noticed that in the second episode also, or excuse me, the first two episodes. So he was trying to be the good king, and and he's got his father, his grandfather, grandsire, whoever, whatever the relation to Otto is, but Otto's telling him to do differently. He's trying to be. He thinks he's supposed to be, sensitive and benevolent to the people he's over, and but I'm like, this was the same guy that was peeing out the window in the first season, and then he comes in the next episode and it's like he's trying to do his duty, but he's also not prepared. He doesn't understand what's going on. They sat there while Cheese and Blood walked right by him. So he's definitely out of his element. I think there's a part of him that understands, a king is supposed to be good, or there's some things to observe. He just doesn't have it in him to do it, and his friends know it, and he's probably just going to regress to the mean.
Exactly. Go ahead, Teach.
I want to point out a couple of things that we haven't addressed yet. One, like you mentioned before, people on the Black Council were like, "Yo, why don't you just like go secret away and let the men handle the war?" And she said, what you're suggesting would be treason. I'm glad you didn't take it further because then I had to act up on you." We needed more of that energy from Rhaenyra. I'm glad she shut that shit down because it's extremely nasty. And two, this is something I said that Monique did not agree with, but it would not the smart thing for Alicent to do in that situation where Rhaenyra pops up on you with a knife, by the way. We didn't even address the fact that she led with a knife, which was a horrible tactical move from Rhaenyra, who's trying to make peace, but you got this woman at knife point. Bad start, horrible start. And she acknowledges that she had a bad start, but she pulls up with the knife. If Rhaenyra was really her, if Alicent was really her, Alicent would have murdered Rhaenyra right there. One, you're gonna get away with it because you're on home. You got home court advantage. And two, unlike the opposite, if you kill Rhaenyra, you can end the war right there and save millions of lives. Versus Rhaenyra killing you wouldn't do anything because Alicent is just a pawn on the board. Alicent is not the queen, and no, I say that with no pun intended on the chessboard. Even though she is the actual queen, she is not the big piece on the chessboard because she doesn't have any real power. So killing her would have only plunged us into war faster. However, killing Rhaenyra would have ended the war. So Alicent is an idiot for that reason alone. And third, when Baela has a chance to kill Criston Cole, and I know that she was told by Rhaenyra that she was not to engage, and she had that funny moment where she's like, I didn't engage, basically didn't engage. Like, I know what you told me, but I pressed him a little bit. The fact that Criston Cole was right about something, but also has a one up in terms of power over Alicent's brother, the new brother, who's the new character that we met in this episode. It seems like it means something, but if Baela was really her, Baela would have at least lit that whole forest on fire because they made it into the forest, but she still got a dragon. We can burn this whole fucking forest down. But unlike the other people on Team Black, Baela and this black woman is listening to what she's been commanded to do and not to do, and I respect her for that. But I think that you if you were really about that action, you would have turned up in that instance. But she's loyal, unlike the other people on Team Black. Despite the fact that she's being treated badly because her and her sister are being treated badly by Rhaenyra, she's still loyal, and I can respect her for that.
Typical, right? Typical for Baela to listen to directions. Hated it. Me personally, guys, hated it. I said, burn all this shit. Burn that section right there because we had the beautiful shots of the dragon circling the trees and just ready. Just that dragon was ready before she even made an instruction or a High Valyrian demand or command. That's what it is, command. That dragon was ready. That dragon was like, yeah, I see them people over there on them horses. Let me get a horse and a couple of them men right there. That's my lunch for today. The worst person you know. The worst person you know made a good point. Sir Criston Cole did well. And I like that we got the scene. I think that was for me when the worst person you know, guys, had a good point. I hated that scene. I hated every bit of that scene. Beautifully shot, perfect. I'm sure they knew in the writers' room it was supposed to be irritating. I was so irritated the whole time. Baela didn't get to burn them up. She didn't get to Dracarys, and Sir Criston Cole had to be respected. Hate it because we got the moment where we meet Alicent's long lost brother. Love when we get new characters introduced. We meet Alicent's long lost brother. And Tej, I'm gonna call you out a little bit. Tej was like, "Are we supposed to feel weird tension here?" And it's not even calling you out because, quite frankly, this entire show is weird sexual tension. You never know who's gonna end up having sex, guys, which is so messy. And let's not forget what we are talking about here at What We Watch. We are talking about House of the Dragon, and we cannot have a conversation without discussing incestual relationships, sex, and extremely, extremely dumb people in power. And I'm talking about extremely dumb people. So, anyways, back to Sir Kristen Cole. So when he has that moment with the brother initially meeting, you can tell Sir Kristen Cole also had the same reaction as T. He's like, "Is this do they have a thing? Was there ever a thing? Do they still have a thing? Are they trying to have a thing? Is she trying to care about me in my life, or is she trying to like put me in like a dick piss, or was it pissing contest? What do y'all call it? I don't ever know.
Pissing contest.
Thank you so much. Um, a pissing contest, and it's like maybe it's
The
both.
other one is dick measuring contest.
Thank you. Dick measuring contest. I am a Spanish speaker, guys, so English colloquialisms are very difficult for me. That is something that I do. But anyways, back to Sir Critical Skull. So I hated that scene, but I loved that we got that moment where it's like, dang, Sir Kristen Cole got to big dog the whole battalion or whatever you want to call it, the whole group. And now the brother has this lower moment because Sir Kristen Cole was feeling away. That ego was hurt when he saw Allison. But I was like, Sir Kristen Cole is just like a nigga, just like a man. Sir Kristen Cole is just like a man. To dub you and then be mad when he sees that you've been had a whole line behind you of men. Not to celebrate Allison ill, but the way that they shot that scene, the way that the characters engaged Allison, Sir Kristen Cole, and the brother, someone please tell me the brother's name at some point. I love that. And so to get those, it's just ego, it's just desire for power, and it's just so much fun. It's very Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Go ahead, Angela.
I just wanted to correct something that the gentleman teach said. Rhaenyra is not treating Bela and Rhaena bad. It's their dad. And I don't know. Like, it almost makes me wonder if the actor is racist because every time he sees those two girls, he just walks right past them. Like he's like, "Move, bitch." Like, is it Rhaenyra?
Now,
But
why do you
like,
think the actor racist? Why can't it just be
I'm
that's his
just
character?
saying. Like, I mean, he
He
is
probably is.
British, but like,
He probably
it's
is. He
just
probably is.
like,
Right. Assuming a
He
white
don't give
person
a
is
fuck about them kids.
look,
He don't care about them kids at
yeah,
assuming a
all.
like.
white person is racist is very easy. Prove to
It,
me that you're not, my
yeah,
boy.
like it makes me feel uncomfortable, but like I don't like it's because like she's very it's obvious she's like very protective of oh my god, not Luke, Jace, Jaceres, but like that's why she makes Bella do all the like the dangerous work. Like, yeah, go ride your dragon, and Jace is like still in Dragonstone just chilling. But yeah, I just wanted to correct the gentle sir, Teach, and let him know it's not Rhaenyra who treats them wrong; it's their dad.
Not you holding fathers accountable. Bold. Daring.
Damon ain't shit.
Okay, what did Damon do this episode? Damon went
He
over
went to
there.
Heron Hall and had bad dreams.
Damon went over there, walked in. Guys, let me tell you how I feel about Damon. When Damon walked in there, the way that I wanted them to strong arm him and give him a little bit of a fight, and you can't disagree with me because even Damon was a little shocked. He was like, "Y'all know who it is. Does anybody want to rebut?" Everyone was like, "No, you good. Come sit down, have some soup." Not the entrance he wanted. Not the entrance he wanted. He was like, "Oh." Then he sat down, and what did he say? He was like, "Oh, y'all trying to poison me." Funny. This whole episode was pure comedy to me. He was like, "Y'all trying to take me down, babe. Nobody cares that you're here. We actually think you're a little bit late. It took you this long to get over here. We'll feed your dragon. He's good. You're not important enough for us to poison you, babes. You should have been here, sweetie." Like I thought that scene was hilarious. Y'all gotta tell me how you felt. That scene had me cackling. That man walked in there thinking that it was gonna be a thing, and all he ended up doing was getting welcome to a feast that he didn't even eat and had a bunch of bad dreams. Damon is a very weak link. and I want y'all to remember I said Damon is a very weak link in the black team. He's mm-mm. Damon is too much up here and not enough action, and then what you do up here doesn't even really work out in the ways that it should. Your little plan to kill a son for a son went horribly wrong, but I mean, it's fine. We can get past that. But even this current situation, you're not doing very well. Eddie, what do you think about that? Eddie, are you there? Tej, what do you think about Damon? Because I think he's the weakest link on Team Black. What do you think, Tej?
Sorry. I don't think it's the weak.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I don't think it's necessarily the weakest link. I think he's the craziest one on that side, and I think there's gonna come a time when he's gonna do something right. He's been the most proactive on that side as well, right? Everybody is they're being very prudent with their actions. They want to make sure everything they're doing is very thoughtful. He doesn't think; he just goes, right? And that's why he had to step away for a minute. Right? We told me, you go over there, you go handle that. Don't do anything stupid. So I think there's gonna come a time where his boldness is gonna come in handy because you need one of those on every team.
I agree. I just would never, if there's, hopefully there's two bold guys, I'm not picking Damon. Damon, we're going to get the Super Bowl eventually. That's, I think, the only time that he's going to shine. And it's going to be in spite of the shit he's done, not because of the shit he's done. But go ahead, Teach. Is Teach having issues? Can everyone hear Teach? Okay, Angela, do you have anything to say about that? I think we're
I
having.
was just I was just gonna say, I mean, he's a man. Like, I know this sounds terrible, but like, personally, like, I think if you swap Damon out for Corliss, Papa Valerian, I think like they win in game 3. Like, but we've seen throughout the series that Damon is just emotionally unstable. Like when he did that whole weird thing to get his brother's attention. Like if Damon was stable, he'd be king. Like like Viserys would have appointed him king. But like he's just emotionally unstable. He's weird. He don't treat his daughters right. He don't teach his sons how to fight like his stepsons. Like he's just weird. And another thing, why did Rhaenyra send the two blondes to Essos? Why didn't she send the? Because there's another baby brunette too. That bothered me. But yeah, he's just a man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say that the most mentally unstable. I don't care how brute force. The most mentally unstable person during a war. This is a liability. Okay, and I think to Rhaenyra's point in the first episode, like you don't even really have a respect for your own kind, and I think that may come back later. That may be something that eventually kind of comes to head in a way that, oh, Damon does care for her a little bit, because he came back with some good points when she said that. But to me, it's like I'm me personally, I'm very concerned about Damon, and we can come back to this episode when I say that. But I'm very concerned about how Damon is moving, because he's one of the people that's like, it's a group of 5 of us, and we got a plan, and we got a strategy, and we go, and we're about to go against the other team, and you go there, you don't even run the play, you don't do your part in the play, and it's like, Damon, please, like, and he comes back and he's Kyrie with it, and he's whatever. He's like, look, but this is what I had to do. Like, I saw the opening, I took this, and it's like, no, but this is this team, this is a system, and you're not listening, and this is why things go to shit. You don't listen. You don't listen. You just want to make moves, and I hear you, Eddie. I like what you said that. Like, yes, you do need someone like that on your team. Damon is not successful at it though. So go ahead, Teach.
I would like to give some credit to Rhaenys, who once again proves to be sound counsel at all times. I think she's great, and I also want to just to backpack on what you were saying earlier. Some of the acting performances that we're getting, what Cook is doing in this episode with her facial expressions. What the actress who plays Rhaenys is doing, I just think that we're getting some amazing performances, and I just think that it's not often that you have a show, whatever the show might be, where you have a season one where your two main characters are the two main characters that we come to the show for the most, and we like their interactions. And then because of the nature of the story, they're separated. So now we can't have those two characters on screen together because they're in separate places because they're fighting war against each other. So to be able to come up with something to creatively get them in the room together, whether or not that would happen in real life or whether that was very realistic, I was okay with a little bit of TV magic to be able to get that moment, and I hope that we get more moments between them. And also, shout out to Millie Alcock who popped up in the episode via in Damon's dreams. Like she was in Damon's dreams, and so Damon is basically being tortured by young Rhaenyra, and I think that's very important because the way that he's treating Rhaenyra is probably going to be the downfall of Team Black. Is probably going to be why they can't win outright, and we're not talking about the death of the Targaryen dynasty. It's probably going to be because of the way that he treats Rhaenyra and how he holds himself versus how he, acts towards Rhaenyra. And so seeing young Rhaenyra, one, I just like that actress. I thought she was incredible in the first 5 episodes. And two, it's interesting because the way that the fact that he can't play his role is the problem. Somebody said earlier, if Rhaenyra told them I don't want to be queen anymore, everybody would stop. I think that's true for everyone, but I don't think that's true for Daemon. I think Daemon is in this for himself, and his selfishness and his ego is going to lead to his death. We know that he's going to die in Harrenhal if we are to believe the dream that he's having, and it's going to lead to the death of many, many others. And you can't having somebody that high up on your team who has that mindset. I like what you just did comparing it to basketball, Mo. The offense don't work that way, bro. You have to play your role in the offense. You are not the Luka of the offense. You want to be Luka, but you're not Luka, and you need to be the Klay Thompson of the offense, and he can't do that.
He might
It seems like he can't do
he might be the Luca because what happened to Luca this year?
that.
Hey, let me tell you something. Tej, you spitting. You just spit for a straight 2 minutes, and I appreciate that. Because my point exactly about Damon. Luca, please. You know what you do. Okay, Luca is way better than Damon. So I don't want to compare it. Damon is not Luca. I would never. If we really have to assign NBA players, yes, this is what we watch. Yes, we are talking about NBA players in the middle of a House of the Dragon episode recap. Yes, we are. But I love everything you said, and that's to me, that's what I'm saying. Like Damon is a liability in this. That flashback matters. These moments with Alicent and Rhaenyra matter. I love that Angela keeps bringing up Corlys. Is his name Corlys? Is that how you say it? Corlys.
Corliss,
Corlys. Them two, big deal. Big deal. Watch them too. Masira, I love how they put her in. She reminds me of someone in Game of Thrones. Not Lady Olenna, but it was I think it was one of the Dornish women. I if y'all can remember, it was like season 4 or 5 or 6, and one of the Dornish women was like also locked up for doing a thing, but like gave someone like some information. I think it was one of the Dorn women, whatever. So, but she reminds me of that, and I'm like, I like her. We're not gonna see a lot of her, but we're gonna see her in very like important moments, and I'm so excited like to season 3 for the engagement of that character. But I want to let Old Atlanta. I think I saw your hand up while Tej was talking, but I just wanted to say Tej was spitting because that's my point. Like that flashback with Damon, he's gonna cost you on your offense. He's gonna cost you. And I think that we just kind of said something without saying something. I do think that Team Black is. I think Team Black isn't even on the offense right now. I think Team Blacks might be on the defense right now. And so if we're playing defense and you think we're playing offense right now, Damon, things are not going to go well. Defense is not, hey, send out the dragons, go scope it out, but don't engage. That's not offense. That's defense. So go ahead, Old Atlanta, and we'll
Well,
wrap it up here.
I appreciate it. T's made a lot of the points I was making. I just want to shout out to the actors again. Uh, and the performances that we've been getting. And I think it's a lot of it where we haven't had action has really been, I've been compelled by some of these performances, and definitely Rhaenys and Corliss and Otto in the second episode. I mean, just cooking with some dialogue and just kind of giving monologues and that kind of thing. And I really appreciate what they've been able to do, the quality of what they've been able to do, because I think a lot of people were concerned that this would just be some cheap knockoff of Game of Thrones, and and we had fallen in love with a lot of the great performers in that series, and I found myself turning to these guys like, okay, they're taking this seriously. The writing is good, and we can nitpick, who should have gone where and what's in the book and what's not. But I think for the most part, especially Emma Darcy and uh, just serving face coming into to
I
come
mean,
to address Allison, and
speaking of serving face, if I might
whew,
add, come on, guys.
no, no,
She can
I mean,
she can walk through the
I don't
whole
mean to
village.
misgender her. I know, I don't mean to misgender them. There we go.
Them.
But
But hold on, my thing
phenomenal
is
work.
though, I'm going back into the scene itself, as the scene itself, what we watch, right? When they were walking through, talking she Rhaenyra, when Rhaenyra was walking through, I was like, babe, this face card, there's only one of these. Y'all have to know that that's Rhaenyra. There's only one of these faces, hun, and that's a face. That's not the face of a peasant. That's not gonna work. That's not working in real life. And it's like, it didn't take me out, but it was just something like I felt so strongly about, babe. I'm like, babe, that's a face. And it don't matter who. One of them little kids running around not paying attention would have been like, "Mommy, look at Queen Rhaenyra." It's like, that is Queen Rhaenyra. That sure is, or whatever Rhaenyra. So, anyways, um, keep going, all day, Atlanta. I just wanted to say that you great point about serving face.
No, no, no. But I didn't have much more beyond that, but just some phenomenal work, and Aegon is doing great work too. I mean, because at first I thought he was kind of endearing me to him for a second, with some of the things he was trying to do, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this guy is still a jerk, and he, and that came around eventually too.
Right.
So just really good work by the actors.
Yeah. My last comment about this situation that we're in with these Team Blacks and Team Green is that we all know how this ends. And I think, Tej, you wanted to say something. And maybe, Tej, you go ahead and say your point, and then I'll close it out.
We we forgot to mention the House of the Dragon draft. They both teams had first round draft picks. They both drafted Masters of Whispers. So now we have Larry's as Master of Whispers for Team Green, and then Team Black we have Masaria who's playing that role. So those characters are important. The roles that they're going to play are important, and also Larry's being an all time.
Uh-oh, I think we lost you. I'll say my point really quickly because accountability is tough, guys. It's really tough. I hate it for me, but we have to go on record. Is this recorded? Yes, it is. I think I might have been. I don't think I'm fully wrong about Otto Hightower, but what I will say is that the way Team Green is looking right now, I'm like, dang, Otto might have been the glue because y'all are down horrendous. Yikes. Thank you, Angela. I hate it for me too, Angela. If you can get me back to hating Otto, that would be great. And I still do. Let me be very clear. I'm like, maybe there was the decline. I mean, the decline of Team Green after Otto dipped has been very, 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 very embarrassing. I could never. I look so good in green. I wish I could be that team. I look so good in green. But your glue has fallen apart. Everything has fallen apart. You're going out and drinking. You're going out and having sex, which is totally fine. Not right when there's time for war. And I think I told you, Tej, while we were watching the scene, I was like, there's a reason. I don't want to control what anybody does with their body. You are free to do whatever you want. There's no real rules because no one that tells you the rules of what you do with your body is even going to really adhere to them. I think there should be a rule with sex and war. I agree. Look at Allison and tell me, do you want Allison on your team during a war? At her weakest point, she is going to. There's a reason why you shouldn't be having sex out here. And the king should uphold that. And when he said those words, he should have upheld it. Team Green is not serious. Go ahead, Angela. Please help me out here.
No, I can get you back to hating Otto Hightower because when Otto Hightower told Aegon, that, do you really think your dad wanted you to rule? So you mean this whole time you've known this was a lie this whole time, and you upheld it to what end? Like, he's just as culpable for all the nonsense going on. And like, look, I get it, like, but that's been his thing since day one. Since day one, he's wanted power. You slutted your daughter out to your homeboy who's way older than her. You know, like, bro, you know your kids were not meant for this. We all know none of these kids received the prep lessons to become king or queen. Like, it's very evident, it's very obvious. Even like Rhaenyra's kids, like Jace, you can see that that boy was trained because he thought he was going to be king. He was like, okay, when my mom dies, they're going to pass this to me. Luke was like, I'm going to be the dude over Driftmark, right? Like, they were all prepping for this. None of these kids were prepping for everything. You all knew this. And then you were just like, all right, well, fuck Rhaenyra. I don't like her because we know she has sex out of wedlock, whatever, right? You believed in this lie so much, and it's like now we're supposed to have sympathy and empathy for you because your grandson told you to like go to the curb. No, you knew he wasn't shit, and you supported him becoming king when you like, bro. That scene made me so angry. Phenomenal acting, by the way, because it takes a lot to like. I think an actor really does their job if you hate them because of their character, and like that's why everyone on this show is just superb at what they do because I hate almost everyone. But it's like, bro, you upheld this. You knew this the whole time, and now we supposed to. Bro, I can't wait till Rhaenyra gets to King Landing because I know he's gonna be dead first. I've listened to the audiobooks.
I know that's right. And thank you. Great point. Because I remember, and I know now that the Game of Thrones actors' lives are forever changed. They are genuinely hated. They were so good at their jobs that celebrities, as our oligarchs, people hate these people. And they were playing a character. I think the House of the Dragon characters got a little bit lucky. It depends on how long House of the Dragon runs, but I don't think anyone hates Olivia Cook yet. But don't let it be too long now. Just kill some of them off now because your life is going to change. Read up on some of the actors in them. So I think I'm excited for House of the Dragon, folks. But thank you for saying that with Otto. It made me feel a little bit better. I still feel like Team Green. If Otto is your best bet, then that's just my exact point. But I'll close this out by saying this because I gotta go. I'm going to a Dodgers game today. I'm so excited. Shout out to LA and shout out to What We Watch. Thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna rank, and I want y'all to come back next episode. Tease, remind me, hold me accountable. I want y'all to come back and tell me because we're always talking about who we hate the most, and it's definitely I gave you my three. Check out What We Watch Film TV on Instagram. But I want to tell y'all my favorite characters before we get off today. And y'all think about your favorite characters. Tweet me and hashtag What We Watch. My favorite characters are all of the dragons. List all dragons. Then it's the dragon eggs. List all dragon eggs. And then it's the castles. Those are nice castles. I like those castles. All of the castles, very nice castles. Okay. I also really like the cobblestone. It's nice cobblestone. It gives good sound, good sturdy. I like the cobblestone. And I like Bela. And I like Rhaenyra. So that's kind of the order for me. I don't know what y'all's order is. You guys let me know, but that's been What We Watch. Thank you so much. I'm being so serious too. I'm not joking at all. That's my order. And I think y'all have been doing so great. So thank you. See you next week for season 2, episode 4 of House of the Dragon. This is What We Watch.